second workout, and I was like, that's it. That's something that I need to do. And that's something that if I do, I know I will be in a different place. And so it started because I was in such a depressed state, so bad, and I didn't believe I could do what I said I was going to do. And so 75 Hard was found. I found it early on, right?
Yeah, you've been talking about it. Yeah, I mean, since the beginning.
Yeah.
For life, it sticks, and I think that's the power of the program. You know what I'm saying? When you started the first time, I mean, did you expect the results that you got? Did it make sense to you when you first started? Because a lot of people, when they start, they're like, I don't understand the point of all these things, and they kind of don't get it. I mean, how did you feel when you first started versus how you felt when you first, that you know what you're capable of and you're living below that standard?
That's it.
And that's something that people have a hard time. Once you open up, and you will feel like shit about yourself. And a lot of people will say, oh, they get off 75 Hard and they just go back to the way they were.
I was speaking to somebody who works here earlier, and they were talking about how
it's so good now where it doesn't even feel like discipline. It's just like, it is what it is. Like, I don't think with progress, people who are aligned with healthier lifestyle, and dude, when you're in the bars,
and this, but what you notice is it gets bigger and bigger.
You know, people think you can do something once, right? You can go on a diet. And the purpose of this is so that we can keep these skills sharp, all right? Because you'd have a guy on there that had speed 99 and then strength, you know, he had 80, and then high achievers or want to be high achievers, we have to realize that we have to constantly be assessing where we are, right? We have to self-assess. Where am I? Like you just said, I just went through this breakup. I'm really low. I need to get my shit back together. Yes, I'm going to use this tool to get it back to where it needs to be. And that's how I
was on a run this morning, and I realized that I am the way. I am the way out of every situation I need to get out of, or every situation I want to go towards. I am the way. You are the way. There's nobody else that's going to come save you. There's nobody else that's coming for you and checking off your tasks for you. You are the way for everything. And if people really understood that, they would get excited when the day gets hard.
Yeah.
They would get excited when there's 2 workouts and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you haven't done it. And I'm like, wow, isn't that the win as well? The fact that you're talking about...
You figured it out.
Yeah, that you can actually get your shit done.
Yeah.
So there's no... And that was so fascinating for me to realize is I used to procrastinate this.
Yeah.
I used to wait until the end. And that was my way of coping. But when you realize and do this program enough, you realize you're going to do it one way or another, so might as well be.
That's how I felt when I met you, dude. Real talk, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I tell everybody I know, I'm like, bro, you got to talk to Danny Miranda. You got to go on and do a show. You got to listen to a show. It's really, really cool. And I tell you this all the time, and I told you this before. It's cool to have a young guy kind of carrying that torch. You know, there's very few young people out there carrying that torch of high standards. You know, Matt Graham does it. You do it. There's a couple other guys online that I really enjoy their content and their persona and the example that they're setting. And you know, from that it attracts the other ones to you. Okay, you don't go out there as a piece of shit and get to hang out with the world champions, bro. Like, that's not how it works. You don't get to be a shitty fucking athlete and go hang out with the New England Patriots. No, you have to be good, and then they're like, hey, come hang out with us. And that's how this works, dude. So you guys out here who feel like, you know, yeah, man, I want to get better, and yeah, I want to do better, and yeah, I want to have better friends, and I want to network. Okay, cool. Become the kind of person that you want to attract, and those people will surround you automatically. You won't have to try. You won't have to go network. And you know, what most people do at this point in time is they get really uncomfortable, because it is uncomfortable when you don't know what it is. When you don't know to expect it, it's very, very, very uncomfortable. You're like, fuck, I've alienated my friends. I've lost all my people. I don't have I'm going to end up alone. I'm going to die alone. Holy shit. And you freak the fuck out. And then you start to go back to their group because you are afraid of continuing to move forward. But what you'll find is that when you continue to move forward, is like we're talking, it's going to be uncomfortable. But if you keep going, your life gets so much better and so much more fulfilling. And quite honestly, so much easier, because you have people around you that are now pushing you down the path as opposed to trying to hold you back from the pack. And that's
at the end of the day and say, we completed this day. And it's like, that was the thing. Yeah. Like, we did that too the first time. The first time I did it, well, obviously, me being the person that made it, the first time I did it, I knew I couldn't do it. Like, I was like, if I fail, fuck. And we also had a group with my companies, with someone for that person, and a bunch of guys who did it the first time with me. And every day, we'd all be like telling, because like, it was the first time through ever. We'd all be sharing notes on how they felt. And I remember, like, it was the first time I got through a full week, meaning Monday through Sunday, and I was on the next Monday, and I had it, like, I made it, bro, I thought I was like, dude, fuck yeah, like, that was a huge win for me, because I was always the person who couldn't go a full week without cheating on their diet, or even like 3 or 4 days. I was that guy, and I was the guy, you know, who would get 3 or 4 days into a diet and be like, all right, man, you deserve a reward, right? And then I would reward inside the framework of that. Because what you're telling somebody for real is like, okay, you're a heroin addict, and you gotta quit doing this because you're doing too much of it. And you gotta do a little bit, or else you'll die. Okay, now think how hard that is for a fucking addict. So now, oh, by the way, on Saturday, when you did good, you can get high. You know, all as much more. How can you ever get over it? You can't. Okay, so we have to understand that mentally we have to go out for an extended period of time to prove to ourselves that we're capable of doing it. And I remember that, dude. That was one of the key lessons for me the first time I went through. When I got that 8th day in, I was like, bro, I made it through a whole week and a weekend. Perfect. Bro, that was very powerful. You know what's so fascinating about that is how often before the program, I believe that the conditions were dictating the actions. And so, all right, Friday, Saturday,